Austin. Welcome to the Fans View, KAZI. I don't hear anything in my mic working.
It's on. Let's try two.
This around here. Check. There we go. Yeah. Hey, now I'm on the air. Good morning, Austin. Welcome to the Fans View, KAZI 88.7. Travis Kent, looking across the room, twisting and tweaking the dials at Douglas, Washington.
Yes, happy to be here.
Next to me, KView 24's Corey Mose.
Yeah, what's up?
And we got an audience today. You want to introduce the audience?
Yeah, my parents are in the building.
Yo, the Mose fam.
Yeah, facts. Cassie Mose, Carl Mose. I won't say his government. I know he doesn't like that. So,
hey, what I want to know is what was his lion name?
Oh,
do you know?
Yeah, Purple Flash.
Oh! I see it now.
Yeah,
okay,
Purple
Pops.
Flash. You know, he's fast or whatever. So.
Oh, yeah, I tasted that.
Yeah.
I tasted that. Fast or whatever. Did we ever get to see maybe his
no film?
The end of his prime. Oh, see now you're doing the Shiloh Sanders thing.
What do you mean?
You said no film. His brothers.
He got no film.
He's known as Purple Flash. I don't think he was slow. You gotta.
Yeah, but it would have been nice to see some type of film.
What?
You know what I'm saying?
No, the story's living infamy.
Nah, it's just not the same though.
Did y'all run the same events?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so.
Because you were a middle distance guy?
Yeah, middle distance, long distance.
And then Dad was a sprinter?
Straight sprinter.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm very curious here.
Yeah, I'm curious too.
He didn't smile. So I think he knows that you know that you didn't want none of that. I mean, that was a quiet confidence there, Corey.
I don't blame him. Look, if you see the pictures of him back in the day, he looks pretty jacked.
Oh.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah?
Yeah.
God.
Thighs are just.
Was that natural, or was he a gym beast?
Correct. He swam a lot.
What? Built it that way?
Big swimmer.
You know, I've looked at swimmer bodies, and they're surprisingly, they're very dense.
Yeah.
Like you think, because you don't see the ripples. A lot of people don't think that there's muscle tone there, but they're dense. It's okay. I didn't know you could build it up that way.
Yeah, it's crazy because some of the toughest guys I ran against were swimmers.
Oh.
I remember in summer track, I would ask the guys what do you do during the school year, and he's like, oh, I swim for the varsity team.
Oh, great.
So when it comes to long distance, that plays a big factor. If you got a long distance swimmer, running is just not that hard when you're swimming for 1,500 feet or yards. I don't know how many metric units is.
Yeah. Corey.
Is swimming, but.
Corey, I got to be rude. I got to jump in there.
What's up?
Your dad flashed us a pic.
Yeah, what are you
Notice
showing
I said
over
there.
Here? Yeah, that's the picture I'm
the
talking
Purple
about.
Flash flashed a pic.
You see the thighs?
There are
Crazy.
striations in them thighs.
Yeah.
He might on another platform be called Quadzilla.
No, for real though.
Corey, I don't think you want to deal with that.
I said I don't.
You see these good sprinters nowadays. The top sprinters are running 400s.
Yeah.
You guys been seeing that lately?
Mm-hmm.
He might extend himself in that time machine. Come down to what year you want to deal with him, Corey?
Well,
you want 2018?
Well, he used to run the 440. That's back in his day.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it wasn't the 400 back then.
He could just do one more lap and y'all can meet at the 800 and deal with it right there.
Nah, see that last lap, that's the key though.
Uh-huh.
That's a tough lap. That's a tough lap. Not everybody can do that last lap.
This is fun.
That second lap is tough, man.
This is cool. This is cool. I really we forget that sometimes though. We forget who we get it from.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just talking to my daughter the other day, and she's talking about all her accomplishments. And I said, girl, you get it from your mama. And she said, she can't. And all I know is my wife got quiet. That eyebrow came down, and she looked right at her to hear what that next comment was going to be, because mama ain't no joke. And finally, I had a Facebook memory when we were at UCLA playing flag football. And the previous day, my wife broke this kid's ankle. And I posted, this was yesterday, so 12 years ago yesterday, and I posted, remember that, because I did post it the previous day.
What sport are we talking?
Flag football.
Okay.
And I posted, hey guys, update. Remember the boy that my girlfriend broke their ankle. Well, he showed up today limping, and he's got a brace on it. He was never right after that. He quit the team and everything. So I know that there are things that our parents have done, but we ain't even trying to give it to them. Mm-hmm. Like literally, she broke an ankle.
No, that's crazy.
And my daughter don't even respect that.
Yeah, I mean, what have you done over there in the Washington household? No respect.
Wait, don't turn it on me, Corey. Don't turn it on me. We talking about you.
I'm just saying.
Where do you think you get it
Travis,
from?
am I tripping?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on over there.
So then, okay, so Travis.
Yeah.
We know that you played a little basketball, played a little football. Mm-hmm. That's a good athlete. Mm-hmm. That's a good athlete. I know you said I don't want to insult you. 2A, 3A?
3A.
Okay, 3A school.
Yeah.
What about your dad? Papa Kent.
You know, my dad was a late bloomer. He grew up in Tyler. Went to what's now called Legacy High School. It was Tyler Lee.
Okay.
Everybody knows it as, right?
Oh yeah.
But he was real small. He grew up playing baseball.
Oh.
Played basketball, but was real small, and so he never played for his high school. But when he finally became like a junior and senior, he started playing church leagues were huge back then.
Oh.
And so he started playing fast pitch softball and basketball in the church leagues, and was really good and played on some really high level teams back there. He didn't play for his school. So, but that was a good athlete. Yeah.
Okay. All right. You think you can deal with him though? If y'all had to do an Oklahoma drill.
What do you mean by deal?
Yeah.
How do you say deal?
Just say it.
What does that mean?
Just say it. You know, y'all got to do an Oklahoma first try. What's happening there?
With Travis?
What's happening there?
You know, he wouldn't have been able to hang with me in Oklahoma.
Yeah, talk your stuff, bro.
Call in, Pops. Call in.
Talk your stuff,
Papa can't call in.
That's hilarious.
Let this be the day. He said, you know what?
No, but there's no.
My boy.
You see how serious
but there's no way. I mean, if I roll back to I remember my dad was still playing some basketball when I was little. You know, my dad graduates. He and my mom get married. 11 months later, I'm born. So, when I'm 7, 8, 9 years old, you know, that he's 29, 30, 31, right? So he's still active and playing. I've been to so many softball fields and so many gymnasiums across East Texas.
Oh, so Dad was a baller. Like, he had to get it in.
Yeah, so I can tell you, I mean, I was a non-shooting inside player in basketball. My dad would have shaken me down.
All right, there it is.
I was a good defender, but he could shoot from the outside, and I'd have had to drag him down to the box to try to do anything against him. But yeah.
Okay. Hey, I just want the patriarchs to get a little bit of that love. One last thing, Mama Mo's. Were there any opportunities for you to indulge in these sports that we speak of?
No.
Okay.
Cheerleader.
She said a no. She's a cheerleader.
Athlete, man. That's a cheerleader.
Purple Flash. That's really cheerleader. That's where you had to go. Was that hard? Was your parents giving you a hard time? A cheerleader? Did you get any of that? Okay, all right. Just curious. Mama Mo's.
That's where it goes. Yeah, all the best athletes get cheerleaders.
Agreed. Mama Mo's, you kind of small. You were what they call the flyer, right? Did they try to throw you or put you up at the top?
No, that weren't. Ladies that were smaller than
Oh, okay, all right. She said that wasn't her. That wasn't her.
it didn't work out well.
That's a lot of trust. I could not. I'm always impressed with that. Well, we appreciate y'all being here today. Thanks for obliging me there. It's just so curious.
Yeah, a little banter. Douglas always likes.
He's
banter.
awesome though.
Yeah.
He's an awesome. You have an awesome son. Y'all know that. And then we spent 2 years together here, and I like the guy, and I like how he turned out. He speaks of you guys in high regard. I apologize. I do always say Papa Mo's, but he'll always say something about Mom, and so I want you to know that too. But
I'll be trying to stick up for you. You know?
I keep
you're an
going
athlete
Papa
too.
Mo's.
You know,
That's right.
Yeah,
It's just that he's your husband's a 1911 too.
Yeah.
So I immediately want to make jokes, and it just stands out for me. But I will.
He just has his itch that he has to scratch. That's all.
Yeah, I do. Well, my mentor was a Q dog. That when I went in the Army, I was dating his daughter.
Whoa.
He was the guy. Like, he was what I wanted to be in every way. I went in the Army and took the same job he had. I wanted to come back, be a robotics engineer like him. It didn't work out with she and I, and then later on, I would go to college and I would end up gravitating to the other historically black fraternity that started in 1911.
That's why.
But that would have been it.
No, that's why.
No, that would have been it.
I know why you're
I don't mind saying that into these airwaves.
You did that in spite.
It would have. No, I can't say that.
that
She did break my heart, though.
Yeah, fact. Okay.
She left me while I was stuck at basic training. She said, "I'm going to go into the Air Force." I was like, "Girl, what? How that look like? Have you ever seen an Air Force base?" I didn't know, but I was like, "Have you ever seen an Air Force base and an Army base like right next to each other? You gonna be in Minnesota? I'm gonna be in Florida. How that gonna work?" And I got mad. And I found out on my birthday, too. It was bad. And then, Corey, check this out. I was on a payphone when I found out. You don't know nothing about that, young Mose.
You know, it's funny. I actually, I thought about you the other day. I'm
What?
not gonna lie to you. Because, what was it? It was some type of commercial or something. I was listening to it was a podcast.
Uh-huh.
And they were talking about it was a thing back in the day that I'd never heard of before. And you always try to bring up like, hey,
Yes,
back
sir.
in our day, and usually I do know about it.
Okay.
I'm not that young.
True. You do
But
get 'em.
this I totally did not know. Y'all used to put something on the steering wheel
Oh.
so then people wouldn't take the car.
The
club, yeah.
The club.
Never heard that before in my life.
Club.
What?
Until about 2 weeks ago. That was the first time ever hearing about this thing called the club.
So in that same vein here, do you know that sometimes we would take our whole radio with us into the mall? We would pull out the whole radio deck, or just take the face off and walk around the mall or somewhere with it. Did you know about that?
Nah.
Okay then.
That's crazy.
Okay.
Yeah. I just knew about Boombox.
And it's the way to let everybody know. You see that face sitting there like, oh, you got that JVC, or you got that Alpine.
Ain't no way y'all was flexing radio.
Yeah, everything now is obviously digital, right? We got screens and stuff like that. Everything back then was modular. They manufactured every piece that went in there, and so all of our speedometers and tachometers and all that was all dials. There was no digital stuff. When they first came out with digital, that was big news. Yeah. But yes, you'd get your stock radio, and then you head down and get you a Denon or get you a Kami or something like that.
Yeah.
And all you had to do is pull that thing out, put the new one in, hook the wires up, change the speakers out.
So why are you taking it out to go to the mall?
So nobody steals it.
Yeah, there are
people
depending on where you. Now he was up in that Dallas area. I'm sure there was some things around his area, but depends on neighborhood and where you're at, and you take it with you.
That's crazy.
Legit. Back in I guess so when I turned 16, 86, 87, something like that. Anyway, and I got my car. Not my car. My car was a POS, but but I legit had friends who their stereo system was worth more than the vehicle it was driving around in.
Yes, sir.
100%.
And so, like, when y'all went into the stores or whatever, and y'all flexing y'all's radios, did that really get y'all girls back then? Or
people knew you were connected because you probably had a speaker system. But either way, this is a lot of money. But a $500 deck means you're a man of means. Like, you got something.
I mean, it was funny, Corey. Like the facing of the radio was essentially, it would fold down, and so that way you could fold it back up, and you had it, so it was a handle so that you could carry, because you weren't leaving it in there. You would take it with you.
Y'all had man bags.
Essentially, yeah.
But radio version.
But it was a radio version, yeah.
So I will just this gives our listeners a chance to get to know us, but I'll give you this one last thing, Corey, to what you said. Freshman year of high school, my buddy Steve, he had
Steve Harvey,
a Hyundai, and it was amazing. And the days I couldn't ride with him, we had an OG, triple fat OG, he wasn't in school. And he had a Ford Festiva.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It is small. It looks like an economy car. But he had a boombox in there, and it was rattling, and all that mattered was big sounds was coming out that little red Ford. And when you pulled up, it was as if I was getting out a Bentley. Seriously, the other kids were like boom 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 shh. But it's a little Ford. It was dinky, but the sound system made it made me cool. It made that a cool ride to school. Those were those days, Corey.
All right.
That's all you needed.
Yeah.
What was on the boombox? I'm interested.
Oh, well, at that time, Chronic had just came out, Dr. Dre, so we were bumping that.
Yeah,
and I'm an East Coast dude,
Yeah.
we're letting people know that
You're
we were
every
wide,
you're every
that
coast
we were
dude.
traveled, we're well traveled. So we bumping that West Coast. But Ghetto Boys, my mind's playing tricks on me.
Y'all want to get jumped for that?
Oh no, it wasn't like that there. But in New York, some parents used to send me to New York during the summers. Yeah, you better blend. You can't act like a West Coast dude.
So you can't be bumping Pac or
you better hurry
Dre.
up.
You gotta be bumping Biggie.
Yeah, it was a fun time. Those are the 80s, man. Those are the 80s.
Shout out to the 80s. You know, it feels like the 80s.
What?
Just Detroit and New York.
It does.
Yes, it does.
It does.
Yeah.
It felt grimy.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
I did too. I like the physicality. It felt like Anthony Mason was back on the court again.
Yeah.
I'm curious though. Did we lose a little bit of excitement about Cade Cunningham and what he will be, or did we get a glimpse and we just realized he doesn't have the DNA? He isn't a closer like Brunson.
I think I like Cade, man.
I know, I
like
do
Cade
like
a
him.
lot. Dallas kid.
Dallas kid.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oklahoma State.
Yeah, I went to Oklahoma
Okay.
State. I think we saw a glimpse of what's going to happen in the future.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
know, like
They just didn't have the horses. I mean,
Yeah.
remember we talked about this a couple weeks ago how low key Detroit's season this year is amazing.
Yes.
When you compare it to how fast they retooled and got up and running. That's JB Bickerstaff. He's there, right?
yeah.
Yeah. He's done a fantastic job.
Yes, he has.
But they still have pieces they need to find. But just to get from where they were, 12, 18 months ago to where they are now is a great step for the franchise. They just didn't have the horses.
I didn't know how to do this, Travis, with you, but I'm just kind of curious. I don't know. It doesn't matter if you watched the game. I mean, we all got stuff we're doing. But Tim Hardaway Jr. played 33 minutes, went 3 for 11.
Don't get me started.
1 for 6 from 3.
Don't get me
Finished
started.
with 7 points. Now, I'll be fair.
Don't get me
He had
started.
5 rebounds, but he also had 4 turnovers. Were you, as a Mavericks fan,
Yeah,
our
I was about to
longtime
say,
listeners already
You know
know,
about Tim Hardaway.
was
Yeah.
this you saying, yep,
That's-
already knew?
That's right.
And I'm going to ask you this later on also, but we're on this game right now.
Yeah.
When you say they need pieces, that's kind of also
That's-
what you mean, right?
It is.
Because he ain't the future.
No, and and look, there's a lot about his game to like.
What?
Listen,
hold
let
on.
me finish.
Yeah,
let me
let's see what
finish.
he.
Because
I
when,
can't stand
because when he plays well, he plays really well.
Yeah.
Yes.
But his lows are so low, and that's remember as a Mavericks fan, he was in Dallas. We gave up on him, let him go.
Yep.
Then said, okay, maybe he's ready to turn the corner. Brought him back. Okay, no, he didn't turn the corner. Let him go again. I mean, that's the ride you get with Tim Hardaway.
You
And
can't.
it's unfortunate. Look, he's not the only guy. There's a lot of guys in the league like that, right? We're kind of picking on him.
Same team.
Well, yes, exactly.
Tobias Harris.
He gets picked on because of his name and
Yes.
what his dad did,
Yes.
and that everyone's waiting for him to be consistent all of a sudden.
Yes.
It doesn't look like it's going to happen in his career, right? But I don't want to. He is the butt of the joke. I don't want to pick on just him. It's just the league is kind of full of guys like this. It's just the nature of the game. I mean, everybody can't be 25 a night on on 58% shooting.
We're not asking for that. We're not asking for him to put up 25. We're asking him to hit an open jumper.
No, you're right.
Yes.
No,
That's the problem that I have with Tim Hardaway Jr.
Yeah.
I look game 3. I have a message right now with my group chat. I put down Tim Hardaway is the one shooter that I have no faith in.
Yeah.
Like you can't be a shooter and I have no faith. Your job is to shoot the ball.
Yeah.
You know, so like I just don't understand how through all these years he continues to find teams that sign him when he clearly cannot shoot the way that they want him to shoot the ball.
We think he's elite because of, like you said, his highs that he's had. We think he's an elite. He was outshined by Malik Beasley on his own team.
Yeah.
Instead of giving the 33 minutes to Hardaway, they only gave 24 to Beasley. Beasley went 6 of 13 from 3.
And that
brother was hot.
That's been all season long.
I know. I had him on fantasy.
Yeah, same.
In sport.
But then
spurts.
from the Mavericks, even when he was with the Knicks, like Tim Hardaway Jr. just has not been consistent enough.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating to watch at times. It really is.
Travis, you hit on something which goes back to how we started the show. Hey, Papa Mose, do you think sometimes we tell the son to do something that we didn't do? So Tim Hardaway, he's not going to go down as the greatest shooter of all time. So maybe he told his son, hey, work on that 3, drain that 3, because that's something I couldn't do. I wasn't a shooter, and I wish I had a better shot. And so your son did middle distance to long distance. You were a sprinter. Maybe you would have wanted him to be a sprinter, but you're like, nah, I think this is where you are. Do y'all think that that's also what?
Well, there's a lot to it, right? I mean, if like we can sit here and see Papa Mose and see Corey, different body styles.
Yeah,
they're just different body styles.
Very true.
And so you're not going to be able to, Tim and Tim Jr., they're different body styles.
Yeah, they do look different.
They had different skill sets. And so you're right. Certainly as a dad, when your child's growing up, you're going to spot that, Tim Jr. is not going to be a point guard like Dad was.
No.
All of a sudden, Dad goes, okay, now here's your body style. Here's the way the game's changing. Here's what we need to do to work on you getting better where you can fit in. He found he's tried to do the right thing, and he got to the NBA, but he's not the consistent threat that we see. I mean, I know it's frustrating. Mavericks fans, we know it for sure.
Yeah,
because he's a nice guy. He's a good in the locker room. He just can't hit the open 3 when he needs to. When you need him to.
And he didn't give much else in that game, the closeout game. 1 assist. 1 steal.
And that's the thing. He don't do nothing else.
He doesn't do anything else.
Your job is to shoot.
That is your job.
That's my thing.
They needed you to give something.
Why it bothers me so much.
Yeah.
But, we got to go to break. Yeah. So, I will mention one thing going to break. You know what it feels like with Tim Hardaway. And now I know what it feels like with Luka.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know how y'all did this over the last 6-7 years.
No, it's ridiculous. That's the other part
I wanted to get to. Yeah, we can talk about it.
I'd like to hear his opinion on that.
All right, let's Fans View, KAZI 88.7, Travis Kent, Douglas, Washington, KView 24's Corey Mose, and the Mose family. We appreciate the Mose family being here. And we got a caller on the line, and it's the bottom of the first hour, so I think everybody knows who it is. Mr. Oklahoma, you there?
Yeah, I'm here now.
Hey, you out at Mike A. Myers Field for the state track and field meet?
Did I do what?
Are you out at the stadium for the state track and field meet today?
Where you at?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay. All right.
Why are you so far from your phone?
I think. I saw some highlights on TV last night. By the LBJ.
Oh
but
yeah.
I'm not out there.
Shout out LBJ. You saw that, huh?
Yeah, I saw those 2 relays, man. Yeah, they looked pretty good on those 2 relays.
They was moving. I gotta figure out what time they ran.
Oh
now
yeah.
I think about it. Yeah.
Yeah, all you gotta do is look on your phone and it'll tell you. I think they went in the 4x1. They ran a 41 point. I think it was 9. And then that other relay, that 200 meters or something like that.
Yeah, 4x2. I
forgot their time, but they did pretty good though. But That's what I saw last night. But what I really want to cover, man, I am so glad some of these basketball games are getting knocked off, man. Some of these teams are getting. I can't stay up at 12 o'clock and 1 o'clock. Golly, because if they go into overtime, then I got to stay up some more. I said, I'm just so glad some of them getting knocked off,
Yeah, it's getting to that point, especially when some of these games, like the other night with the Rockets, right? Clearly the Warriors were not trying to play that game. So 5 minutes in, it's like, I'm not about to stay up and watch this game. And at the beginning of the playoffs, there was a lot more tight matchups, I feel like. And as the playoffs have went on, teams are realizing and recognizing, we can take this game off because we can go back home and clinch the game in Game 6 or clinch the game in Game 5. And that's just not good. That's not good TV. It's really not. But the ratings are up, though, this year when it comes to the NBA playoffs.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
Do you like the physicality, Miss Oklahoma? Like, do you like? That's a conversation that I feel like I've been asking people. Do you like how the refs are allowing things not to go, or do you wish they call a little bit more fouls?
Well, man, the refs, it's so much stuff. I mean, they have a hard job, man, because they can't see every little foul or incident. They can't see everything. So I think they're doing the best they can, And it's a good thing they have the take look at the replays,
Yeah.
That's a good thing. Because they can't see every little thing, man. It's a lot of pushing and all that, and just like that caller called in last week talking about you have to fall right. How you gonna fall right if somebody pushing on you?
Ask that man Thompson.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you that Indiana game and the Bucks game, man, I could not believe Indiana won that game.
Yeah. Shout out Halliburton, huh?
That game, right?
Yeah, I mean, Halliburton, he's becoming one of my favorite players.
Yeah.
Just because they talk so much trash about him.
He needs to be, because he's not the favorite. I mean, he's overrated according to
That's what I'm saying.
the player. For those that don't know, the players voted, and they voted on the most overrated, and it was Halliburton.
Yeah, they just hating. I mean, that's all that is. Like, he's not cool, so like they don't like him not being cool.
So, do you think that it's the stats? So, those of us who play fantasy basketball, fantasy sports, we appreciate that we know he's going to be a double-double guy. He's going to give us some games with double-digit assists. He's going to give us those points, and so we respect him because of that. But do you think that some players think those are empty stats, and that's what the overrated's about?
It's a couple of things. Players have talked about his flashiness and his no-look passes aren't really no-look passes. He's like passing it and then turning his head. Which low-key, there's some replays like, he does kind of do that.
That's true.
He kind of does. They don't like his shot, which his shot isn't really pretty to look at.
It is not.
They don't like his personality because he seemed like a cornball, which I can see it. I can't. But, like, that's who he is. You know, like, he just seems like the kid that grew up, all AP classes.
Yes.
Didn't really talk to anybody outside those classes.
I don't know.
Wasn't really the captain.
Maybe didn't play AAU.
Exactly.
He was able to go to some camps. His parents could send him to a couple Nike camps or something like that. And then he just... He you know what? I'm going to just say it. He ain't a hood dude. He ain't a hood figure. At the end of the day, he ain't got no edge.
At the end of the day.
He has no edge.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to see that edge.
Yeah.
And he ain't got it.
So then when he comes and chirps at you, that's why Dame's like, who are you?
Right. Because
Who are you chirping at me.
Even Damian Lillard, the self-described mama's boys, remember?
Yeah.
They were the mama's boys up north. Even he had an edge.
Yeah, you don't mess with Dame.
Even though he was
he a rapper.
Well, see, there it is. See?
Yeah, he a rapper.
With actual skills.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Oklahoma, you rep Houston.
Yes,
I don't know if you heard, but Mama Moses in the building. She from Houston, 3rd Ward. What you know about that?
Yeah, man, I know about 3rd Ward, 4th Ward, Southern Science, City Gas. I know about all of that, man, because I grew up in those areas, because I used to live off of Alameda Plaza.
Okay, that's what I wanted. I wanted you to drop something that she could have as a little nugget and know where you from. But hey, I appreciate that.
Miss Oklahoma, a big.
I was listening to y'all. I was listening to y'all.
Hey, Miss Oklahoma. Big weekend, man.
Yeah.
Softball. I mean,
Let's
y'all didn't have to do all that.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
Yeah, but you know what, man? We did I watched the game last night, and we doing pretty good. But man, looks like we got this one ace pitcher. They gonna pitch her to death.
You can do that in softball
Till the wheels fall off.
You can do that in softball.
We trying to win.
Ask Cat Osterman. They pitch.
Oh my
they
gosh,
pitch Cat every night.
Cat
she did,
got
yeah.
wrecked. But she lives in infamy.
Man.
There are still signs in non-athletic facilities over at UT in the College of Liberal Arts, the Patton Building. On the first floor, they have a 24 by 36 of Kat Osterman with her, because she was a liberal arts major. I want to say psychology, and then 97, whatever she graduated. So it was worth it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think so.
Go get that shit.
That picture of Oklahoma, man. Every time I see, they be calling on her, man. But man, they got to get some other people out of pitch, man, because they gonna pitch that girl to death, man. Even though we won last night 6-5, And then I watched that baseball game, Texas and Arkansas.
Oh boy, last night.
You watched that?
Last night that was a rough one.
I watched that, man. Texas got shut out.
What time you turn it off?
He watched the whole thing.
Ain't no
I
way.
I started watching like the bottom of the fifth inning.
Yeah,
and then
that's a
I
good
don't watch
time.
the whole game.
Oh, okay.
That's a good
watch
time.
The whole game. I always watch the fifth inning, the sixth, 7th, 8th, 9th.
Wait, so hey, time out.
Yeah, go ahead.
You got like a multi-view, like, cause you be talking about, you be watching all these, like how you watch it? Cause there's no way you
You
flipping
think he be
channels like
lying?
that.
He said he got to replace batteries, Corey. He be saying that,
There's
Corey.
no way he's flipping channels.
He wearing that thing
So
out.
are you flipping like? Cause you can't go in between. You going in between games, cause you're not waiting for the commercial break to flip channels.
Yeah, that's what I do. Like, I always check it. I check the score. If it's a blowout, man, I quit watching it.
Okay,
But
got you.
I flick all the time. The basketball, baseball, softball, track and field. Which one? I just flick a lot.
See, I can't do
Because
that.
I don't watch the whole game or nothing.
Yeah.
I don't watch the whole game with nothing.
I don't watch the whole game or nothing, man. Even basketball, baseball. I don't watch the whole game. I always watch like the third quarter and the fourth quarter.
So you're not go.
It's some movies I want to see.
Oh, and you watch movies?
You're not watching movies.
You ain't
dog.
got time for
You
that,
not
Mr.
watching
Oklahoma.
movies. Not even
Man, you be
kidding.
getting up here and you be talking about gymnastics and you
Yeah.
be going the third and fourth level.
You talking about high school?
WNBA?
You talking about high school when we first started talking?
Bro, there's no way you watching movies. What's the last movie you saw, Mr. Oklahoma? I got to call you on this.
Sinners.
Oh man, I watch so many movies, man. I watch Conan. I watch. Oh man, there's so many westerns on there. Clint Eastwood. Man, I watch
He
a
can't
lot
be
of
lying.
different movies.
I know.
said
Because
westerns.
I got a cable package. So I watch a lot of movies, man. I watch a lot of scary movies and Underworld and all that.
Oh, you
I
got
watch
me
a lot
there.
of it.
Man, we got to get you an
I watch a
NIL.
lot of.
Hey,
I watch a
you
lot
need
of.
to get sponsored.
I watch a lot of stuff, but I watch a lot of sports though.
hey, Rockets winning tonight.
Say it with your chest.
Well, I would hope so,
Nah.
but it's gonna be tough for him to win, man. It's
He
gonna
always
be
be
tough
doing
for him to
this.
win.
He don't ever like pick a side, man.
Mr. Oklahoma, come on,
Go
man.
ahead,
Rep for the
yeah.
city. Mama
Hey.
Moses in the building, bro.
He said, "I hope
Yeah,
so."
She on the edge of her seat. She about to
I
take
hope so.
your Houston car from you.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, man, I want them to win. But
Yeah,
they
yeah.
playing in San Francisco tonight.
Yeah, it's
And
different out there.
Yeah,
I want them to win to tie it up 3-3 and then win a championship. But that's a hard question, but I don't know. I would like them to win.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they put themselves in a tough spot for sure.
In the
Yeah.
regular season, you have won there. I know that's not the playoffs, but you have won at Warriors. Does that help you feel a little bit better?
Have. Yeah, we have, man. But Stephen Curry, when he get hot, man, that dude is. Draymond Green, he start pushing people around. They didn't get away with it.
Nah, here we go, bro. Bro, I was talking to my dad about this yesterday, actually, bro. He a Draymond hater. I didn't know that. I found that out last night.
I don't like Draymond.
Bro, what?
I want him off that team.
Bro, y'all don't like Draymond?
I don't like it, man.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
I am not a Draymond fan.
Man, Draymond just doing what he's supposed to
Me
do. Yeah, my dad used to say he a bully.
It's that, yeah.
I'm like, where's Dylan Brooks?
He's doing that old school.
If Draymond a bully, what is Dylan Brooks?
Dylan Brooks puts up points though.
Bro, Draymond triple single. What we talking about? 8 points, 5 boards, 6 assists. What's up?
I agree with your dad.
See, everybody agree.
Yeah, I guess I'm an anomaly. Hey, Miss Oklahoma,
Yeah.
I hope you know. Look, I talked about the Rockets on air the other day, and when I
talking about on TV?
I talked about them on TV, and when I did it, I thought about you.
Yeah.
Hey,
You always be talking about how I never talk about the Rockets or the
right.
Houston team, so I did that just for you. So I hope you was watching. I know you wasn't. So
Yeah. Hey, I probably missed that time.
yeah, I know you did. Saturday, Sunday, bro. I need you to lock in.
yeah, come on, give Corey some love.
Okay,
Saturday,
okay,
Sunday.
okay.
Go ahead, lock in.
Okay.
6 o'clock, 10 o'clock, KView, 5:30 Sunday, 10 o'clock Sunday.
Can we count on you? Can we get your vote?
Yeah. Man, but it all depends on where I have to go, man. I drive around a lot, so I'm gonna try to watch.
You supposed to
man.
make me put
another
me
lie.
in your schedule. That's
Another
crazy.
lie. When does he have time to be in the streets?
Yeah. You watching all these games. Just yapping, man.
Set that auto-tune. Auto-tune over there.
So, Miss Oklahoma, I know you got a couple other things, man. What else you got?
Yeah, I do. I want to know, man, what's going on with Belichick?
That's a good one.
We not talking.
That's a good one.
We can't talk about this.
49-year-old.
I'm not about to be in this man's business, bro.
49-year
That's
difference
this
between the
man's
two.
business.
Well, okay.
Yeah,
So,
hey, let me get this off the air.
Okay.
Let me finish so I get off the air.
Okay.
I want to know what's going on with Belichick, Shannon Sharp, and what's that dude that sent a message to Shakur Sanders from Atlanta?
Atlanta's defense coordinator's son,
he wants
Jack.
all the tea.
Yeah, he was.
Okay,
That's all
all
he
right.
was,
You know
bro.
what? We
He
should
was-
give him that.
He was
All
a
right.
tea
So
party.
you gonna hang up and then we'll dish on that. Those three.
Yeah, I'm
All
going
right.
up in him. Hey, and I want to ask, so I'm going to tell your mother, man, Houston, boy, that's in my heart, but I can't live that,
Yeah, they be stealing things out there, man. They be robbing people.
Man,
Mr. Oklahoma,
Man,
she's
they
so
be-
Houston. She got on a Texan shirt with the matching Converse right now.
Yeah.
That's how Houston she is.
Yeah.
You calling yourself Mr.
Yeah.
Oklahoma?
yeah.
You better not cash
Hey,
her
man, I'm gonna
outside.
Hey, I'm going to see y'all later.
All
man.
right.
Y'all talk
All right,
on this
Miss
topic,
Oklahoma.
man. I talk with y'all.
Thank you, Mr.
All right.
Oklahoma. We
Thank you.
appreciate it as always. 512-836-2887. You can get your calls and
Never
comments
fails.
in.
Let's do it quick, guys.
Never
Belichick.
fails,
What's
bro.
y'all's take on Belichick?
That was quick.
Those sides.
Somebody, Miss
Size,
Flute, somebody was waiting.
Crazy.
Somebody was waiting.
The size is wild though. But we was talking about Houston. I got out the car yesterday because we got some breakfast or brunch, and I'm over here, locking the doors. I guess there's something in my back seat. So my mom goes, "Hey, you want me to put this in the trunk?"
There it is.
Yeah.
She know. She would have pulled her tape deck out back in the day. She know.
And I told her, I was like, "We're not in Houston right now, man.
Sorry.
Look around, man. We look good. We in Houston, we in Austin, downtown. Like, it's safe out here. It's okay.
Mama Mose,
It's safe."
Mama Mose, you remember he was out west, and that took the edge off that you worked all them years. Even though he went to school up there by Dallas,
Yeah, I mean, it's tough out there in the
he
ag.
lost it.
Arlington
When
it's
he
rough
went-
out there in Arlington.
But he lost it when he went out west. When he was out in that Midland
nice
area.
people out there in Midland, Odessa.
Yeah, that's right.
Very nice people. We got a caller.
Yeah.
All right.
Caller, you on the line?
Oh, got
There-
you punched
there
up
it is.
now. There we go. We got your caller?
Good morning.
Hey, Pflugerville man, how you doing?
What's up?
Man.
Pretty good, Joe. Hanging in. I might be a little late, but I want to give my opinion of Dallas draft, the Cowboys draft.
Okay.
No, you
Oh.
good. Yeah, we do that.
Yeah, I think they did a good job on the ground. I'd give them a B. No sexy pick,
Mm-hmm.
which was good. Dallas took players for the offensive line, defensive line, and the secondary. And this is what I like. They picked 2 running backs. One of them you might know, D.H. Blue from Texas.
Oh, we
I
know.
think he's just had a bad reputation, but he ironed that out about fumbling the ball. So, yeah, I'd give him a B.
Yeah, someone asked me this at the really cool event yesterday, but 2 days ago, Pflugerville. Actually, out in your hood.
Wow.
They had a girls flag football event.
Mm-hmm.
The high schools are incorporating that now, and so
About time.
everybody out there, Weiss, Round Rock,
Rock, yeah.
Rouse,
Yeah.
they all have football teams. But someone came up to me and asked what I thought about the Cowboys draft. And I said B+. So you're right there on the same mark, Pflugerville, man. I think it's a solid drive. I mean, nothing sexy. Even though I like Ezebuki.
Yeah.
That how you say his name?
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
close. It's close enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's Ezebuki. Boston College, the edge rusher. I like him a lot.
Aking Basode?
Oh, his first name?
The last name.
Oh.
Aking Basode?
No.
Well,
No.
okay. So I'm curious. Sorry, I was talking about the guy from Maryland.
Okay.
You did say Boston College. Pflugerville, man. I'm very curious then because, and I know Travis might want to go in on this. Do you think Jaden Blue is small though? Do you think he's undersized for an NFL game, and maybe that's why he went all the way to the 5th round? Where do you feel as far as his size?
His size, you know what? I've seen Emmitt Smith and I've seen him. He's about the same size as Emmitt Smith. Have you seen what he did?
Oh,
So,
okay.
the size, if you can run the ball, size is not a big deal, man. I'm telling you.
Okay.
But
Okay.
Remember, they did draft Deuce Vaughn,
Yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah.
Cedar Ridge. Shout out Cedar Ridge.
yeah.
And I mean, Deuce Vaughn is what, 5'5"?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So and then they went 5'9" Jaden Blue, and then they came right back with Phil Mafa, and he's 6. So then they went
He'll
and got a
run
big
through
boy.
your face.
Yeah. So they got the Thunder and
Yeah.
Lightning. I guess
Yeah.
that's what they were trying to do, just
Yeah.
to see Thunder and Lightning. Okay.
I like Mafa, to be honest. Clemson guy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I also like. I like their draft. Like the Cowboys had a really low key.
Yeah.
You know, they got Booker, and you got now 3 guys that you draft in the first round on the offensive line. So you would hope that they would kind of mature and get to that point where you can run the football.
Yeah.
With the Jaden Blue, but I like Jaden Blue a lot. I think that pick, if you have Miles or Javonte Williams step up and become like 1A, then you have Jaden Blue being your 1B. You have a little good tandem.
I would have liked to draft a little bit better. Like I give the draft a B-.
B-.
And I go and here's the main deal is they need a second wideout.
Yeah, they do need a receiver.
Very badly. And
That baffles me.
so I would have liked this draft a lot more. I'm fine with the Booker pick in the first round.
Okay.
I think they needed to pick a wide receiver in the first 3 rounds. I would have been happier with. I would have been very happy with the Jaden Blue pick if we still had Rico Dowdle on this roster.
Okay, I get
If
it.
they'd have paid the money for Rico, which wasn't that expensive,
Nope.
that would have been a great 1-2 punch at the running back position, I believe. But all that
You don't trust
aside,
Miles Sanders, bro.
huh? I mean,
You don't trust Javonte Williams.
I know I don't know. I
know you
don't.
shouldn't, to be honest.
Exactly. But and that's the thing is you finally figured out over the last 10 games of last year what you had in Rico Dowdle.
Mm-hmm.
You still have some injury questions and things like that, but you found out that he is a capable NFL running back. And then so letting that walk out the door. And now replacing it with a lot of question marks and draft choices is just a lot risky for this offense, especially when you only essentially have one weapon on the offense. So that's my take on the draft anyway. But I will say this: that now during the offseason, we now have to trade for Tyler Biadasz because we're one Tyler short.
Yeah.
On the offensive line.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just I like going edge with Boston College in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
that kid's nice.
Yeah,
I like him a lot.
He is.
So it's like, okay, you pair him with Parsons, on the outside. Hopefully, you have a good enough pass rush. Because you remember, I mean, look what the Eagles did in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
You got to have a defensive line. You got to have an offensive line. You're right, though. When it comes to receiver, I thought first 3 rounds you at least get one. At 12, I'm only getting McMillan.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people like Matthew Golden at that spot. I didn't. I think Matthew went when he needed to go. Late 20s. I mean, early 20s, late teens. But in the second round, there wasn't really a wide receiver I liked at that spot either.
No.
You know, like Luther Burden's already gone.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the Iowa State guys. The Texans, we drafted the 2 Iowa State receivers.
Right.
I didn't do enough. I don't know them enough.
Yeah.
But there wasn't really another.
No.
Receiver.
Your point is very well taken. While we've talked about the running back position a lot,
Deep.
I think it's a very deep running back. I think there are 5th and 6th round running backs taken that are going to make a lot of squads.
Shout out Taj Brooks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But you are correct. This was not a deep quarterback or wide receiver draft.
Mm-hmm.
And so needing a wide receiver and then having to try to go to the draft to get it was not the greatest of positions to put yourself in.
At the position y'all were at.
And they had already,
At 12.
The point being is I wouldn't have done it last year anyway, but they traded away a draft pick to bring in a wide receiver, and that's essentially what Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones are going with is, hey, we got what we feel is our drafted wide receiver. We did it by trade last year. That gave up that 4th round pick, right? So.
Yeah. So, real man, I know your time is always tight.
Yeah,
Was
you got
there
your boss
something
around
else
the
that you
corner.
wanted
That's
to hit?
Yeah, I got enough time this time, man.
All right.
Oh, awesome.
I owe him something, so I say I'm gonna take my time then. All right. You can't say no because I'm backing up all the time.
Hey, leverage.
Yeah.
It's real.
Love that.
Yeah, that's it, man. Hey, I'm gonna switch from football to my Lakers. Oh man, the way they were playing, I say, man, we probably beat Timberwolves, but wasn't to be, man.
No.
Only one win, man. One win. So I like what the coach said. J.J. Redick said the team needs to be in playoff shape, which is true. I think that arrow went straight to Luka Doncic. Remember, in Game 5, he had 9 blowbys. And in the 4th quarter, he seemed to be out of air, out of gas or something. Man. So, I don't know. Was that a good trade? Or did Dallas get the better of the deal?
Question the trade.
It was a good trade.
That's crazy.
But the pieces are not on that team where they need to be to support him.
Yeah.
Because I'll ask this. Do we ever, I'm not saying Luka is him, but do we ever really think of Magic Johnson as being a shutdown defender?
No, but he was a capable defender, and the game was played differently back then as well, right? But and I think there were a lot more players that felt like they had to be two-way players. Where I don't think Luka feels like he has to be a two-way player.
No.
Like Dirk always lamented the fact that he wasn't better on defense. He wanted to be better on defense, but he was awkward and he was slow-footed, and it was a problem for him, but he tried.
Yes, he looked defeated, or he had reactions that, man, I couldn't get that.
Exactly.
I remember that.
But Luka doesn't even care. He'll stay on the other end of the court and argue about a call rather than getting back and trying to make up for what just happened, right?
Yeah.
So that's that's sort of the point of the trade. So LA's in the same position right now, and also the problem is that star number 1 or number 2, whatever you want to call it, is 40 years old. That's their other problem. But and this is the problem that we Mavericks fans had with the trade, was you had retooled your team to be better defensively around Luka already.
Yes.
And the last 20 games of last season, they were the number 2 defensive team in the league. And even in the finals series against Boston, their defensive ratio was strong. It was just they had nobody else to score points except for Luka in that series because they just didn't get it out of Kyrie. The Lakers now have to retool the same way because they had no inside presence, and you've got to be better. You have to be a better team defense if you're going to have Luka on your team, because we've seen it too long now, and that's why we as Mavericks fans had come to accept it.
Yes.
But we only accepted it after we got Lively and Gafford, and we got PJ, and we looked better on
and
defense
you got a
around
trip
it.
to the finals.
Exactly.
Yeah, I just think it's Pflugerville, man. You low key said it when you was talking about this topic. You mentioned how coming into the playoffs, thought they would be better, and I think we got a glimpse of what they could be, and we low key got fooled as an audience when a week before the playoffs start, they go into OKC, they beat the brakes off OKC, and then the next game, it's a back-to-back, both games in Oklahoma City. Then the next game, they go down to the wire to OKC. Remember that? And then Luka gets ejected. And then they go and lose the game in the last 5 minutes. But going into that fourth quarter, it was a tight game. And it's going into a back-to-back when clearly the Lakers don't need this game. They're not really trying that much. But they're able to still contend with the Thunder a week before the playoffs started. It's the same team. That team that played on that court that day is the same team that played the Timberwolves. The same guys, the same coach. And so I think as an audience, we got tricked into thinking, oh, that's the Laker team that we're going to see in the playoffs. I think that team is a peak that we're going to see from the Lakers.
Right.
Coming to the playoffs, we just forgot they don't have a big.
They return to the average. Yes, you're right.
When the trade happened, we all said they don't have a big, and they never got a big. That never changed. They tried to get the guy from Charlotte, Marvin Williams.
Yep.
That trade fell through, and because they were playing so well, we forgot they don't have a big. And once the playoffs start and once the game starts slowing down, and then you realize, okay, it's a half-court basketball now. It's not fast break anymore, so you can't really go small ball like that. You see what the Warriors are doing. They realize that when the Rockets are putting Steven Adams and they're putting Sengun on the court at the same time, they don't know what to do because they're just too big. Yeah. And so with the Lakers, we forgot they don't have a big because they were playing so well. And then now you have Rudy Gobert going off for 27 and 24
and
in an elimination game.
The Lakers, Pflugerville, man, lost to a team that took 47 three-pointers and only made 7.
Yeah, didn't shoot well at all.
That's right.
They played the 1990s Pistons we was just talking about earlier and lost to them. In this day and age where the 3 is king, and they only made 7 of them. Pflugerville, man.
At one point, they missed 18 straight.
I don't know what your jumper looks like, Pflugerville, man, but I think you and I could go 7 of 47 over a 48-minute game. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Okay, then. I'll keep feeding you. So that's bad. Now, the Lakers did not shoot the ball well. They went like 11 or 12 of 37. Yeah. And they would have loved to at least have shot a little better than that, and that could have helped them when you lose by 7 points. But it's telling.
Yeah, I'm just like my whole point is just this roster wasn't ready.
Right.
Once the trade happened. And clearly they knew that because they tried to go get Marvin Williams from Charlotte. Right. But now that the playoffs are over, we need to come to a realization of that. Like, let's not forget, this roster's not ready. So this summer is the big summer for Pelinka. Like, he has to go get a big. If you don't get a big, this team, like you said, Travis, if you don't have a rim protector behind Luka, it won't work.
No.
And we saw that
because it's an open lane. He matador defenses open lanes all day long, and you've got to have somebody back there to stem the tide.
Yeah.
Hey, Pflugerville, man.
All right, y'all.
All right, we're up against it. We gotta.
Hey.
Yeah, go ahead.
He's giving me the side eye. I gotta go.
Okay. All right, we appreciate you as always. All right,
bye-bye.
All right, thanks. We need to get to a break. Oh, yeah, you're listening to KAZI FM Austin. This is the Fans View, KAZI. I'm Travis Kent alongside Douglas Washington, KView 24's Corey Mose.
Sure.
Second hour of the show, we got to get to a few sound bites that Mr. Oklahoma wanted us to talk about. Let's start with Bill Belichick.
Yes.
All right, so let's not even. We don't even have to really broach the fact that there's a 50-year difference between he and his girlfriend. All right, that's
49.
Let's just accept that that's okay.
Get the number right, bro.
It's not exactly 50.
Get the number right.
You're sensationalizing it.
Yeah, come on.
He didn't. He's got standards.
So those who don't know, Bill Belichick has a book out, And so part of that is you do these book interviews, and he does one for CBS Saturday Morning, and gets asked questions about other things than just the book. And his girlfriend, Jordan, what's her last name? Jordan something or other. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, she's essentially his personal manager now, I guess, because she's sitting right there telling him, no, we're not going to answer questions about that. And he comes out then and makes a statement through North Carolina that he had told his publicist he only wanted to talk about the book. CBS Sunday Morning said, we were never told anything like that. We told them that we wanted it to be. We have Bill Belichick on. You don't want us to ask him about this time with the Patriots, his winning shit. We'll ask him about a lot of stuff. And so there's a lot of back and forth here. I think the main takeaway here is this relationship that he's in now, is it getting in the way or distracting what he has been? I mean, this is not the Bill Belichick that we've known for the past 20 years.
No.
Right? This is a different guy.
I mean, the whole business is he's always been a controller, right?
Yeah.
And we think that is the problem that turned out between him and Tom Brady with Tom Brady's trainer and the Patriot way. And now it's the Jordan way. It's the Jordan rules. Hey, man, I'm glad I got that before anybody else.
Yeah, exactly.
Put that out there.
That's good.
That's what I feel like it is right now. But Travis, come on now. Hold on. You're not gonna do this, Travis.
What you talking about?
Travis. I've been up in Dallas area. Y'all got some beautiful Texas sweethearts up there. Sometimes you come across the right one, and she got that nose wide open. Yeah, Travis, you ain't never been head over heels, and yeah, baby, baby, whatever you want, baby. Travis, not even once.
Hey, we're not gonna talk about that. I got me a nice San Antonio girl right now, so that's I'm happy with my San Antonio girl.
I think
tell Charles Barkley he'll know what he's talking about.
Yeah,
exactly right.
He won't say that to Travis's face.
That's right.
But I think we're just at that point where he's just another guy that's just caught up.
Yeah.
Look. I was listening to Colin Cowherd. He had an interesting take, and I low-key agree with him. I'm not gonna lie to you, or at least I could see it. He was saying, in this day and age, you mentioned it, right? Like Belichick is controlling. He has that type of aura about him. But now he's in college, right? In the NFL, you can be a horrible guy. Yeah. You could be a mean person. But if you win football games, no one cares. If you win the Super Bowl, nobody cares.
Yeah.
That's why Tom Brady stuck up with it for so long. In college, you have to be likable. And you have to have a type of personality about you to get recruits there. I mean, that's half the battle. It's getting 5 stars, 4 stars. They have to want to play under you. And I think what Colin was saying was that Jordan is something that Belichick needs that he's never had to need. Is somebody to control his personality and his public perception. Because in this day and age with social media, everything's out there. And so she's there to she's been putting him on her TikToks and her social media pages to get his face out there a little bit more. Doing stuff like this with the interview and saying, hey, we're not going to talk about that because she's looking out for his public perception. Because she knows in college that matters. And I just think that it's funny that Colin mentioned it because it's like, okay, like I see where the weirdness of the age comes into play. But then if you think about, okay, well, she's around the same age as the athletes.
Yeah.
And so she kind of knows what the athletes like and what are they attracted to, what are they looking for, and what are they searching up on Google and what are they searching on TikTok. Like, she knows that. And so that's helpful for Bill because he has no clue about that whole world. of social media. And so, yeah, I just think Colin had that cool little take, and I was like, I can see that.
You think privately she's got him practicing the first 8 seconds of the next viral TikTok dance? Bill, you just got to get 8 seconds worth of it. That's all we need you to be able to do.
I bet they watching film. They definitely watching TikTok film for sure.
Okay, so then I'm gonna just finish it like this. If you're 73, a millionaire, and you got a hottie in America, where's their awkwardness? Because that's what we do, right?
Oh, you know, and I joke around about. I mean, numerically it's weird, but I mean, whatever they want to do is fine with me. I mean, she's legal age. If that's how he wants. You know, he was married, and his son, that's his defensive coordinator in North Carolina. That marriage ends. He had a long-term relationship with another woman that ended a couple years ago, and now he's living his life. Whatever he wants to do, you know, it's fine with me. But you do have to realize when you've got a 49-year age difference between your girlfriend that it's gonna be in the news.
Talk about
it's gonna be in the news.
Yeah, you got to be ready for it. So, gentlemen, the next topic.
Yeah.
Shannon Sharp.
I knew you were going to bring up Shannon, bro.
Took the leave of absence from ESPN. You guys have an idea of how hard it is to try to date and keep it off the radar, and you've been so successful at it for so long that the rumors are that you are a homosexual, and he had to deal with that, but he still never revealed. Hey, and then this year happened, and I meant cumulative, where the Michelle sound comes out. That's the first big mistake. That's a pretty big mistake, and now this happens. Is the real Shannon Sharp showing up? You can only hide who you are for so long. I just want to remind y'all, he did have an issue in the past. He did have I believe it was sexual assault allegation. It was dismissed. But this has happened to him before. And that's why...
You talking about in his playing days or what?
I believe it was after.
Okay.
But this is why he says the clip that went viral of him saying, that's why I don't get on an elevator with a single woman. If y'all remember hearing that. That's why. Because of what happened to him before. And that's why he says that now, to avoid it. But now this has happened. What's y'all's take on him dealing with the OnlyFans model and information being put out? Not the full picture.
Yeah.
But we see in his words that maybe he got caught in some role play, and that doesn't look good with these allegations. Where are you guys at with that?
I just never understand it. Like, you have so much money.
I know.
You have so much money
and opportunity.
Yes, and from where he came from, right? Because he started from the bottom with this whole media stuff.
Yes.
Like, he really grown his own platform, and then eventually Stephen A. low-key opened up the door for him at ESPN. He walked through it and busted it down. So, respect to him for doing that and taking advantage of his opportunity. But then you squander it, and that's what's frustrating about all this stuff. You see the same thing with the guy like Isaiah Bond in the draft. It's like a year ago, to this point, he was a first-round draft pick.
Yeah. Like,
consensus first-round draft pick. And now he's undrafted, and it's just crazy how you have these dudes, black men, that have so much money, that have so much opportunities, and they just squander away. And you just wonder why,
Gentlemen, Xavier Worthy had an issue. I'm just going to say this. When I was in the game, that there are certain people that have an edge to them. And that ain't the one you want when you got more to... You are not supposed to date someone that has less to care about than you. You should never do that. And so if you date down, that's where they live. And so there's nothing
you
can
say
make
that,
them
but
look
like
back.
the crazy thing with the Xavier thing is Tia was an Olympian. You know what I'm saying? So like he's not really dating down.
Agreed. I'm just saying, though, I think he may have seen something before, though, that he ignored.
Yeah.
And I have done that. I have been in a relationship, and it was all I can do is look back and be like, well, you know what? I blame myself because the signs were there and I ignored them. It was a long distance relationship, and it's easy to fake it when you're not around somebody. What? I fly into town, we're together one night. I fly out, Sunday morning or whatever. I mean, you can fake who you are during that time. Gentlemen, what do we do when it comes to athletes, personalities? Do you date safe? Do you find someone who has something to lose in the public perception as much as you? How would you guys do it if you had his platform?
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be 50 years old and unmarried. I mean, that's with millions of dollars. That's not a recipe for
Wait,
success.
hold on. Yeah. Look how he looks. And for the record, a 56-year-old woman is not going to want to go to the gym with you that often. It's going to probably give you a hard time about you going all the time. Or you just going for them young girls, those fast behind girls that are there. He has made kind of comments that's another reason why he goes with a younger lady. Because she
I get that. I understand that.
What you're attracted to for lifestyle.
Well, what I'm saying is I wouldn't wait that long before getting married. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying, if you're 50, whatever. But I'm saying, like, I wouldn't have been unmarried at 50 years old in the first place. But then the other point I was going to make, golly, Travis, you take it, 'cause I totally forgot.
No,
What was your question, Doug?
Oh, I was just saying, do they date safe? And do they date, or should they date someone that has so much to lose as them? And maybe that'll jog you a little bit.
Okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah,
okay.
That's what I was, okay. Because I had this thought when it comes to the draft process. I went to a bunch of these draft parties, right? And I'm seeing a guy like Andrew Makuba, right? He has his son. And cute moment, too. His son put on the Eagles hat. Real cute moment. And so, his girl is right next to him. And I've been to draft parties where the girl is hidden. Hey, don't shoot her. We don't want her in the shot. We try to keep my life private. And I think when it comes to athletes, and I wonder in the draft process, do teams, and I'm sure they do, ask about this and ask, hey, I see you have someone in your life. Be real with me and be real with this team. Is she long-term or is she short?
Yeah.
Is she a baby mama or is she your wife? So, it's cool seeing a guy like Makuba, and it's like, okay, bet, young dude from LBJ, going to the league, got his son, and girls pulling the picture, and now he's set. In my eyes, like, you're kind of set.
Yes.
You have that family and you have everything kind of already situated. And so the athlete situation like Sharp, you would hope is avoided, because he's already settled down, and so if I was an athlete, I would go that route. I would find a girl in college, stick with her, because once you cross that professional athlete boundary, you're not a college kid anymore. The whole world opens up because now you're a millionaire, and so that's when things come arise.
The thing with Shannon Sharp, and I've never given Shannon Sharp's personal life a thought in my life,
same.
right? And so this is all just, as this stuff's coming up, just kind of, the thing that I wondered when we first started hearing about these last couple of incidents or whatever is, his sexual lifestyle that he wants to lead just sounds to me very fantasy-like, and that the idea of a wife and a kid and a picket fence and all that just doesn't appeal to him.
I agree.
We didn't hear much about this. I'd have to go back and see if there was some stuff during his playing days.
But we never came up during the playing days.
Never came up during the playing days.
Irvin.
Maybe he was a little more careful with what he was doing. That's just what it sounds like to me. Is that he just has a different sexual lifestyle that that makes him happier than what most of the world enjoys as being. And so it's
which isn't uncommon.
It's not uncommon, right?
I feel like when it comes to the professional, I remember the stories about DK Metcalf and like the stuff that he's kind of interested in. Like these high profile guys are kind of wild. So
opportunity.
Yeah,
See,
opportunity. That's one word.
I say to people all the time. I don't condone cheating, but what I tell the people all the time is it's very easy for you to say that big name Corey Kent will make up a guy named Corey Kent. It's very easy to say,
country music singer.
He cheated on his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Oh, I would never. She was fine. Okay, it's different when you have opportunities. Those who have opportunities don't live your life. You don't know what you would be like when you're walking out and you have the adoration of fans.
Exactly.
If they say absolute power corrupts, absolutely. And when that opportunity is always in your face, this is why, if y'all remember, we talk about him all the time. Yeah, the light-skinned brother,
Who you talking about,
Christie,
bro?
Doug Christie. Why did his wife go on the road with him?
Yeah.
She said, "I'm going to the hotels. I'll be on the road with you." So these fast behind girls can't sneak in, and I'm right there with you. So if you have an urge, I'm right there on the road with you. And that was her choice. She did that. And I think that's another reason why these guys, they have those opportunities. You're at the hotel. We have guys that can't walk down the street and not turn and look at a girl walking away. Mm-hmm. So how many, there are not 9 out of 10 guys and you're like, oh, I would never cheat. Come on. Like, we know who we are.
Yeah, just like Jaden Daniels' mom, huh?
Well, yeah.
Making sure that, hey, Jaden, who you talking to?
That's right.
Well, that was a good moment.
Yeah. We got a call on the line.
Corey Kent plays Bossier City, Louisiana. He's playing on the stage at the Silver Star tonight.
Bro.
And tomorrow he plays in Baton Rouge at the Texas Club.
I can't believe I made up
Corey Kent,
an actual star. Okay, so guys, little question about this here. Do you guys think that one of the reasons that athletes make a mistake on their relationships is because of the lack of time that they use? So you saw my point. My point is that if you don't spend a lot of time with someone, if it's a long distance relationship, then it's easy to fake it. You don't get a chance to spend time around and see them when they got a little bit of hard times on them to see how they react. Because think about it. You're with your sponsors, you're with your team, you're shooting in the gym, and then maybe you're out clubbing. How much time are you actually giving that one person? So, and then when you're with them, that's that fake time. And you don't really get to really see each other until later on when it hits you in the face and you realize, oh my God, this is not the one. And that's when the problems happen. Do you guys think that could be true?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many pitfalls to being rich, famous, whatever we want to build them up with, and then think about them trying to find a relationship. I mean, because it's hard. It's got to be difficult to navigate. No matter how many people you talk to and how many people that their teams or their franchise can give them access to help them out, and having financial managers and things like that. I mean, at the end of the day, everybody's heart falls for something, and you just hope that it's not somebody who is really good at putting on an act, and then just wants a free ride for a while. It's got to be really hard. I don't envy anybody when in that situation. It just to me seems like it's almost impossible. That's why we see athletes that marry, movie stars that marry. You relate better. You kind of have an idea that they've got their own, you've got your own. We can get together. We hope it works for a long time. We hope it's who is it? Goldie Hawn and what's his Kurt Russell. Yeah, we hope that it's that. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's like somebody who goes through. Who was it? Larry King, who goes through like 7 wives in over a 35-year span or something. It's just, it's just tough to do. It's tough to do.
I couldn't imagine doing something like that. I think about like Michael B. Jordan. Everywhere he goes, no matter who he talks to, they know who he is.
Yeah, that's right.
And like, how can you really get someone genuine when they already know or they think they know who you are? when you meet them.
And everywhere you're going,
Oh, no, you don't have to. Oh, okay.
50%, maybe 75% of the women that are there because they're there to meet
Or
you
you.
or someone like
Yeah.
you,
Yeah, facts. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you have to find that 25% or whatever
Had no
that
clue.
had no clue,
No clue.
that this is where stars hung out. I mean, that's hard to pick.
Yeah.
And we did get a call. He didn't want to come on air, but he just wanted to weigh in. You know, he was saying, Grandmama said that 2 grown-ups are going to do whatever 2 grown-ups want to do. And he just wanted to say he liked our takes on it. He just thought that Shannon Sharp, he doesn't care what Shannon Sharp does. That's his own business.
Yeah.
But what he did say is that these girls are waiting sometimes, and just because we're talking about all these were guys that in these situations, but they're waiting for you to sign that contract. They're waiting, and so these guys are going to have to make some good decisions on who they have around them in their circle. So,
Yeah. Real tough situation.
Yeah, for sure.
But
go get you a good church girl.
you know, and that's a crazy. I told Bijan that last time I saw Bijan. I was like, bro, I don't know how you do it.
Yeah.
You know, because not only is he an athlete, like not only is he Bijan Robinson, you know, but also you throw in the factor of who his persona, who his brand is. You know, like that. You speak about a Christian girl, a church girl, like he that's his brand. You know, and so not only do you have to hold yourself to a different standard because you're an athlete, but now you got to have Christ on you too. That's I tell him all the time, like that's crazy that you're able to do that in that type of limelight. All the time. So.
All right, we need to take a break. We'll come back on the other side. We gotta go. We gotta dive into the NBA a little bit more.
Okay.
If there's any draft, and we're back on the Fans View, KAZI 88.7. Travis Kent, Douglas Washington, KView 24's Corey Mose and the Mose family as well.
Travis, I just want to offer you something.
Yeah.
We are being streamed all over the world. There's someone in Germany, the person in Dresden area, they always are listening. It's always that area. But today, if I told you there was a place called Tabentayan, would you know where that is?
Never heard of that.
Hungary.
Oh, okay.
Someone is in Hungary listening to us right now. They dropped, but they're right back again. So shout out to our Hungarian brothers and sisters out there. So cool that they're streaming us, listening to little old us in Austin, Texas.
Hey, we want to get to some a couple of things, but I did want to mention, because we had a nice little golf conversation during the break. The CJ Cup at Byron Nelson is going on this week in Dallas, which means the Charles Schwab over at Hogan's Alley in Fort Worth at Colonial Country Club is right around the corner. So it's a good time. Of course, we had the Valero Texas Open a few weeks ago, back before the Masters. So a lot of good things going on. Former Rice golfer Brad Lardon just missed out on making the PGA Championship yesterday at the PGA Professionals Golf Tournament, which gets you into the PGA. But the PGA is coming up. It's in Oklahoma this year, up in Tulsa.
Yeah.
So a lot of things going on in the golf world as well. I won't take up a lot of time. I'm the only one that likes to listen to me talk about golf.
No,
so
you're good. Yeah,
it's exactly.
UT's Farrah O'Keefe, she qualified to be at a PGA championship as well.
Okay.
This past weekend. So
UT men are ranked 4th in the country right now.
Yeah.
So we've always got a great course. And Scotty Scheffler shoots 10 under yesterday to take the lead at the CJ Cup. So
he's so good.
He's crazy good. Hasn't won yet this year.
Yeah, it's been Rory's year though.
But when he punches through, watch out. So
yeah, I do want Rory to win the British though, just to it's in his hometown.
Yeah,
you know, and also like he just had that year. So I just want him to complete the year.
Yeah.
In that way, because he's just had. I mean, we've been waiting for this Rory for a while, you know. And I remember when he came on the scene, everyone's like, Tiger, next Tiger. And he never really came into that. Like, we saw a lot of flashes, for sure.
Right.
But the consistency was never there.
Yeah.
And so it's just cool to see him on top. We got a caller?
We did. It was just about our past conversation.
Okay.
And, everyone doesn't get a Savannah like LeBron has. And I
mean, that's high school.
We need to have self-restraint, though. And that's the caller was just saying, I got it. like a lot of people are throwing a lot of attention to you, but our athletes need to have self-restraint. You don't have to put yourself in all these uncompromising positions. Just because you think it doesn't mean you have to text it. Just because they offer it doesn't mean you have to act on it. And he gave a personal example that someone was playing footsie under the table, and he said, "Oh, you see this wedding ring?" And she said she doesn't care. And he said, "Well, I do." And she removed herself from that situation. So yeah, thanks for calling in, guys. We brokered that because for Mr. Oklahoma.
Yeah, I know, right? Crazy.
We want to talk NBA playoffs. We want to talk draft. Any draft comments you guys want to get in?
I'd like to go back to the playoffs.
Okay.
Guys, New York, Boston. I used to go to New York as a kid. I lived in Boston.
We don't care.
These people don't like each other.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to be, if you think it was 80s ball, because supposedly the Knicks made these changes. They broke up the Villanova boys so they can beat. I mean, they still got 3 Villanova boys, but they sent the 4th one packing to do this.
He's still playing too.
Do y'all think, I know, that'd be cool if they could run into each other again. Do you guys think this is going to be the best series of the entire NBA playoffs? New York, Boston. Because I think it may
Why
be.
are you looking at me, Travis?
I think it is.
You guys watch more NBA on a nightly basis than I do.
It's gonna be a gentleman's sweep, bro. It's not gonna be.
Whoa!
Close. The Knicks aren't good. Like the Knicks.
You know what?
The Knicks are closer to Detroit than they are to Boston.
I will agree. Detroit blew a bunch of those games. Even this
Detroit
last game, they were up by
Detroit should have
7.
been up 3-1.
Yeah, they were up
If we're
7
being
with 2
honest.
minutes to go.
Game 1, you give up a 21-0 run
Yes, you
in
did.
the 4th quarter.
Yes, you
you
did.
can't do that. But they did. And you lose Game 1 because of that.
Well, for the record, Travis, Jalen Brunson is doing it by himself. He had to drop 40 in a Game 6 just to will it.
Yeah.
Chill out.
Cat had 10 points.
Cat won Game 4, though, for them. That
One
step
game.
back 3 was crazy.
A game.
Okay.
And had, so you're saying Jalen might not have hit that shot? Because Jalen might have hit that shot if it wasn't for Cat. Cat just isn't, he's not what they need to win this series, I believe. He's not the fix. I think they still are going to have to do something else to get past.
They got to go get
Boston.
Giannis. That's what they need to go do. They need to go get Giannis.
That's what I was.
That's what we need to
that's what I
talk
was
about, to
alluding
be honest. We need to talk about...
Did it feel like the last time we saw Giannis walk off the court as a Buck?
Yeah.
He gone.
Yeah,
He gone.
He's gone.
Yeah.
He's out of there like
I hate
Mr.
how that's
Oklahoma
the way,
from
though.
Houston.
I do
I hate
too.
how that's the way.
Yeah.
The whole Halliburton dad situation.
Where does he go?
You go to New York or Houston. Yeah, or Houston. My dad said.
Oh, did y'all hear that? Did you hear that? Is it, wait,
Going to the Rockets.
is that because he got a little Houston tenderoni in here with him? Is he why he doing that? He from Alabama. What are he trying to? so Papa Mo's though, that is a good place because that little culture that they got in Houston, next man up. There's no real superstar. I thought we all kind of agreed on that it's not necessarily
Yeah.
Jalen Green.
Right.
It's Sengun.
like
And
a budding star. He's
Giannis
a
could
budding
come in
star.
and kind of fit because he's not an in-your-face superstar. I think that's Papa Mo's. I think that's actually a really good place.
I don't like the fit.
Houston's missing.
Oh.
Houston right now, and I'm not talking about the on the court necessarily, but what Houston's missing to become a part of what the rest of the teams that are at the top of the NBA are is the figurehead, right? They need the marketing piece, and Giannis would give them that. And yeah, Giannis is not outspoken, and he's not, but he's name brand. And that's, they don't have name brand in Houston. They have a good basketball team in Houston, is what they have.
Yes.
They don't have a name brand right now. And so that certainly would fill that gap. If you were on the operations side of the Houston Rockets, that's got to sound attractive to you of, hey, here's something I can build a marketing platform around and build excitement in the city around. And so, yeah.
So since you're in agreement, because we're going to come to Corey because Corey's of disagreement, what would you give up to get Giannis? If you knew there was an opportunity and with this young team, would you do whatever it takes, Travis, as the general manager?
Yeah, I don't know that I would do whatever it takes, but I'd be willing to part with some decent assets. But
Okay.
the problem is
let me give
I don't
you-
know
let
what
me
the
give you
sauce
names.
is. Okay,
Let me
all
give
right.
you-
Oh, we're gonna do that? Wow, I thought you were in disagreement.
No, listen. The funny thing is, my parents and I, we talked about this literally yesterday.
Oh, cool.
And I am in disagreement, but
Yeah, give us the first part and then disagree later.
But I say, are you giving up Dylan Brooks?
No, I'm not giving up Dylan Brooks.
Oh, all right. Here we go. Starting with that off rip. Okay, I thought he was on the line top
Yeah.
guy. I agree with Travis though. I'm not giving up Brooks. If I'm
Okay.
the Rockets, I'm not giving up
All
Brooks.
right.
Jalen Green, will you let him go?
Yeah, I think I'd let Jalen go.
Jalen Green go.
See, so the hard part about this.
I would too.
This roster is a sauce. This is a melting pot that makes the right sauce.
Okay.
And so it's
Mama
hard
Rose
to
is
get.
hurt.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to have a different name. They're
love
willing to
the
give up and not willing to
Love
give up.
that. Okay.
I wish y'all were in the studio. If you could see Corey's mom's face, she is hurt. I think she liked you up until that point, Travis. It looks like you stabbed her. And she's just so
No, she
instead
was
of being
not,
hurt, she's
she was
disappointed.
not happy with that. You're right.
Like, Mama Mose, do you own stock in the? That's right. She a Houston girl.
Okay. So you say that, right? You say the squad is built well right now. You
Yes.
see the nucleus. So before I continue with the names, let me go back and let's backtrack. And let me start with this. I'm gonna ask you this too, Douglas. You look at OKC. What OKC has done, they have drafted and they have developed.
Yes.
And they've got one or two free agents like a Caruso, like a Hardenstein, not
Yes.
big name free agents,
Yes.
like a Fred VanVleet,
Yeah.
like a Dylan Brooks.
Yeah.
And they let the young guys develop because they saw Shea's good enough, Jalen's good enough, Kayson's good enough. Is the Rockets core not good enough to wait and develop, or has it reached its peak? Is that what you're saying?
That's what. Yes. So I think if I were general manager, I think I'd be a very conservative general manager. First of all,
Yeah.
But I probably would look at my roster.
I'm pulling the trigger every time.
And like,
I'm pulling the trigger every time. Oh, you said who? Yeah, I'll accept that. Right.
Well, I can tell you, you're not getting rid of Sengun. He was the leader in assists.
All right,
He had 9 assists.
We'll get there, Travis.
Yeah. So I think I would probably let this roster keep cooking.
Okay.
Right.
Wow. All right.
I don't think I would break up what you have here. I think I would just rely on what other piece do I need and see if I can get it in the draft.
Wow.
Or maybe lure another piece from somewhere else. I don't think that I could break up because it's going to take a couple of these guys.
Mm-hmm. No, it'll take
well,
pretty
if
penny.
not, yeah.
Gentlemen, I want to jump in there on this.
Yeah.
They played 14 people in this last game.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
deep.
So
They're deep.
How about you just?
And the Lakers play 5.
I'll
Yeah.
give you all 9 people on the bench. I'll give you all 9 plus Jay-Sean Tate, who did not play because of a right ankle injury.
Shout out Jay-Sean.
I would give out all 10 of those to get Giannis and then go find me some more bench players.
That's crazy. All right. Well, that's okay.
Okay.
Back to
So
this
that's what
conversation.
I would do.
Back to this conversation
to get Giannis.
Amen.
See, I'm not
Okay.
giving
I'm
up
not giving up.
Good job,
I'm not
Travis.
giving up. Amen.
Good
You
job,
say you're not
Travis.
giving up Şengün. Are you giving up Şengün?
Travis,
Hey, let him talk.
don't.
No.
He hesitated.
I know that is crazy. He did hesitate.
It's crazy.
Oh no.
There's no way you're not giving up Brooks, but you're giving up Şengün.
What do you got against big people? Travis.
No,
he's Turkish.
I just feel like you could.
He's Turkey.
You got something against him, Travis. What's wrong with Sengun?
No. I mean, he's a great player. I feel like when I'm looking at him, I'm like, who can I find and replace? What they're giving me. I can't find somebody that's going to give me 20 points a night necessarily, but I think I can find somebody who can give me the same presence at the center position on the defensive end, and I can fill in the points from the rest of the.
No, Travis.
On the
I just
offense.
told you
Okay.
he led the team in assists. 9 assists.
He is a
We're talking
playmaker.
Jokic
Yeah, he's a
level.
playmaker.
You said defense, but don't overlook that
Yeah.
offensive part.
Look, if we're talking about getting Giannis, you got to give something up.
Yeah.
Travis.
Okay.
Okay, so
here we
what's your
go.
disagreement then, Corey?
Oh yeah, I forgot that's how we
You
started.
just ruined the perfectly good general manager over there.
I totally forgot that's how we started the whole conversation.
I got fired. Dude.
Fire Travis! Fire Travis!
On your off day,
We're
you're
treating you like
crazy.
Nico.
If I get fired for Nico, man, that's
Yeah, I know. Them Houston, look at Mama Mo's. Them Houston fans already gonna turn on you.
They don't like
Let me see
you.
if anybody's streaming over in Houston.
Yeah, we're not. If I'm GM, we're not trading for Giannis, man. It just because look, what is the problem with the team right now? Late game situations. Who's going to take the shot?
yeah.
You can't trust anybody on the roster. You to shoot a three, definitely not. You know, especially if Jalen Green's shooting 1 for 15. So there's really nobody that can get a bucket late in a playoff game situation, and Giannis doesn't do that. Giannis isn't a guy that's going to go get you a bucket late in games. He's not going to go to the line and make the free throws because his shooting percentage is horrible too on the free throw line.
What?
And so my thing is, what the Rockets need right now is someone that can get a bucket. And Giannis doesn't fit that need. He actually just fits what they're doing right now. Can't shoot, and then can't shoot free throws. Well, my mom was talking about it in the car. Why'd they lose the last game? Because of free throws. So you're going to get a guy that can't shoot free throws to be your star? It
But
makes
he
no
will
sense.
attract other people. Remember, we're gonna have to. There's a windfall. There's a bunch of people going out the door. So he's gonna attract other people.
Yeah, I get that, but you also got to pay them. So the other people that you're attracting, what are you paying them?
Well, we're not paying Amen a lot. Well,
You gotta pay Şengün.
We did pay Jalen a little bit of something.
Well, hopefully you're getting rid of Jalen. That's the hope, that the team that's taking him is taking his contract. Because, you just paid Jalen. And that was the biggest mistake I felt like they made.
But as a guard who can go out there and grab 8 rebounds, though.
Oh, you're not trading A-Man, though. You talking about A-Man?
No, I'm talking about Jalen.
Jalen's not getting 8 rebounds.
He did last game.
One game.
11
He's not
points,
getting,
8
not consistently. I think the star the Rockets need to go get is Kevin Durant. I think that's the guy. I think he fits what they need.
I agree.
They need a leader, first off, a veteran leader, because they're all young. They need a guy that can go get a bucket whenever, because A-Man can't shoot. Şengün can't shoot. Dylan Brooks can shoot sometimes. You got to get a guy that can shoot consistently. And you talked about a face. KD can be the face.
Yeah.
Now, does he want to be the face? I don't think so.
Right.
I don't think Kevin Durant's at that part of his career where he wants to be in front of media at all times. But, that gives Amen Thompson more time to develop. That gives Şengün more time to develop. And I'm sure Kevin Durant doesn't cost as much as Giannis would cost when it comes to trade assets.
Right.
So that's why I just think KD fits better with the Rockets. I like Giannis in San Antonio. I think they have the more assets than what Houston has to trade. And I think Giannis and Wemby together would be crazy.
And so you're keeping the guard?
Stephon Castle?
No, Fox.
Oh, De'Aaron Fox. Yeah, I'm keeping him too. We're keeping everybody.
All right.
We're keeping because Spurs got a ton of draft picks. Just give the Bucks all the draft picks. I mean, I'll throw in. I mean, they got assets too. I mean, you throw in Devin Vassell. Put him in there. Put in Harrison Barnes.
What about he plays like every position.
Yeah.
His hair is dyed.
Jeremy Sohan.
Yes, yeah.
So you look, yeah. So you got Jeremy Sohan. You got Devin Vassell. Harrison Barnes.
Yeah. 5
first-round draft picks. Milwaukee. There you go.
Okay.
I
like
mean,
that.
why not?
And he fits the culture. He's a San Antonio guy.
Giannis, I feel like fits the quiet. He's all about business, all about respect, legacy. That's what he cares about.
Hey, but if he comes to San Antonio, you got to put the Narcissus on the squad. You still taking him?
Why you don't? You never like his brother. His brother is annoying though.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, but if that's what it costs, we'll take Giannis if we got to put him on the roster. That's fine. If that's the only thing we got to do, that's cool. He can take up a spot.
So, Travis, what are we finding out here with Golden State, Houston? Golden State is still going to win the championship like Draymond said, like Jimmy Butler said after a game. He said, Steph's the reason why we're going to win the NBA championship. Seeing how Houston is playing them, are you confident that they're going to come out of the West?
No, I don't think they come out of the West.
I don't think. Yeah, Travis never said that.
I never.
Oh
said
no,
that.
I'm just
But
asking.
No,
Do you feel confident?
no, I mean, I like their chances of advancing tonight. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I guess I probably would like them against the T-Wolves, but I don't like them at all against Oklahoma City.
No, I don't either. You know, it's funny when we had the whole playoff conversation to begin with. First off, we knew this series was going to be the series.
Yeah.
We also knew the Clippers series was going to be the series.
Oh.
And they both lived up to the billing.
Yes.
I feel like every series kind of has what we thought, except for the Lakers. The Lakers was the only series like that was weird. Everything else is like everything else was like, all right, Detroit, they're gonna stick with them, you know, but they probably not gonna win it. Late game situation, blowout Boston, blowout Cleveland, blowout OKC. But I felt like the Lakers was the one team that could use their experience to beat OKC.
I thought so too. Right.
Like that was like the one team that was like, okay, they're experienced and they're young enough to beat the young OKC team. With the Warriors, they have experience, but I don't think they're young enough. I just think they're too old to beat OKC. It's crazy because, you know, LeBron's 40, but you still had Luka.
Yeah.
You know, he's 26. You know, you have an Austin Reeves who's not 30. You're trusting a 35-year-old Butler, 36-year-old Steph. Draymond's what? 36, 37.
Yeah.
So, like, it's tough to say they could beat OKC. I think they could beat the Rockets. I do think they could beat the Wolves. Mm-hmm. But I don't now. Like, I'm nervous with the Wolves. I don't know what to get out of them. You know, they look like a team. Watching that series closely, because I watched every game, that Wolves team is dangerous because they can beat you in so many different ways.
Yeah.
I mean, and you got Ant. Like, Ant is a superstar. Like, he legit is. And we need to really start talking about how this dude has now he's knocked Jokic out the playoffs. He's knocked LeBron out the playoffs. He's knocked Luka out the playoffs. Last year, who did he beat? He knocked KD out the playoffs in the first round. Mm-hmm. And he's 22, 23 years old.
He spent time with them at the Olympics.
Yeah.
And I'm not afraid of y'all anymore. I ain't scared of you suckers.
Yeah.
Breaking news. Popovich is stepping down as head coach.
He retired.
Yeah. It's too taxing on him.
He just had a stroke, right?
Yeah.
Like recently. I know he had a thing in the past, but like he just had something else come up.
Yeah. So that's the end of that. He'll go down as one of the greatest of all time.
Is he the greatest? Is he
the greatest?
Over Phil?
Oof. I just hate because of I mean, you inherited Tim Duncan, you got David Robinson.
I mean, Phil got Jordan.
I know.
And Kobe.
And Shaq.
Yeah.
I think I might want to go Pat Riley maybe.
Wow. You're always doing the weird stuff. He's always doing this no one's ever thinking about this. I'm gonna pick this guy. He's the give me Iguodala. He's that guy.
Yeah.
It's like, bro,
spot on.
Yeah. Pat Riley. Like, respect to Pat. Like, I get it. Like, yeah. Shout out Pat. Shout out Lakers. But really, bro.
Yeah.
Over Phil Jackson.
Okay, Travis, who you got? Greatest all-time NBA coach. And it's okay if you say Phil, because even though he had, Kobe and Jordan.
No. I see. I think Pop.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I think Pop, what he's done, and once again, look, you don't win without superstars. So everybody that's won has superstars.
Yeah.
A lot of respect for Pat Riley, what he did. I mean, heck, you go back to Bill Russell as a player coach and Red Auerbach and those guys, and they were dominant teams. There was a different NBA back then, and so they were able to just stack up talent and just steamroll over people. It's like John Wooden out at UCLA, right? I mean,
yes.
John Wooden's a great coach, but was he that great of a coach? Except that he had every great big man that came through for a 15-year span or whatever it was.
Yep.
I mean, that makes you even a better coach, right?
Yeah, it does.
And so, I think all things being equal, the way Pop ran the San Antonio franchise, if I'm going to just pick a name, I'm going to pick him. So
Corey.
And I'm the guy when he named himself coach, came on the air the next week and completely ripped him.
Yeah, you gotta love media, huh?
Exactly.
Always right. I like Phil, and the reason you mentioned Pop, the way he ran the Spurs, I like Phil because of the way he ran his team, and to be able to control those things. You know, like you said, every coach has great players, but every great player doesn't have great attitudes.
Right.
And so
The ego.
the way Phil was able to handle a Jordan ego, and then the way Phil was able to handle all right, you can go to Vegas, Rodman. Just come back. You know, please. You know, and so like he was able to handle so many different personalities, and then you go over to the Lakers, and now you got to handle a Shaq's personality, and you got to handle a Kobe being jealous, and how they were able to keep that together for so long and still be dominant is to me a great coaching as well.
The teams that Phil Jackson, the stars that Phil Jackson had to coach versus the stars that Pop had to coach,
Night and day.
Night and day.
I agree.
Pop didn't have to worry about anything off court. I kind of equate it to the even though they
One thing.
Jimmy Johnson's era with the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And while yes, there was the White House and there was stuff that Michael Irvin was getting into and all that, but when it came to on the field, Troy and Emmett and Michael had everything locked down. Once you came through the doors, it was business. We're here to get stuff done, and that's all you do. And so Jimmy Johnson didn't have to worry about a lot of that stuff. He just had to worry about building the roster and coaching them up. So that's what Pop had to do. Phil Jackson, he did have a completely different job. I will admit that.
When you were making your explanation, though, Corey, a name popped into my head of someone, Steve Kerr.
Yeah.
Where does Steve Kerr fall with what he did with the Splash Brothers and Draymond?
Yeah.
And because of that,
I never know what to do with Kerr.
I know, but
Because I don't know
he
how much
learned
credit to
under
give him.
Phil Jackson,
Yeah.
and then it's just like he's been.
And then he messed around and like, look, a lot of people gave him crap for
He was
not
with
playing
Popovich.
Jason Tatum throughout the Olympics.
Yeah.
But they won gold.
So
So
he learned from Jackson. He learned from Popovich, and he's got 4 titles himself. Is Steve Kerr the greatest mind to pull?
It's just so tough. It's tough with Kerr because like we don't have enough. Like we don't have a good enough sample size. Because we talk about what Pop inherited. What Kerr inherited was a championship ready squad his first year as a head coach, and he has yet to have a year where it's like, oh, we can't win the championship. So it's kind of hard to say Kerr is a phenomenal coach because we haven't seen him like a Eric Spoelstra, who we've seen him have a super team and win, and then we've seen him not have a super team with Jimmy Butler
I know.
in the bubble,
Yeah.
and they still win and go to the final. So with Spoelstra, it's like, okay, he's stamped on both sides. Like he can do it with the super team and with the team that he really had to coach.
Yeah.
With Kerr, we don't know. Like he's always had Steph, he's always had Draymond, which. As we know, are 2 top 15, top 20 players ever to play.
I mean, I don't know what Kerr's looking at from the future standpoint, if he's just going to stay with Golden State, because then we will see him have to retool a team and see if he can get it back, or
He retire.
If he
I'm retired
but
about
it would be interesting to see him like say, hey, you know what, it's somebody else's turn to take over this franchise. I'm going to step down, and then like take the Chicago job or something like that, and see if he could retool Chicago back. That would be the interesting thing to watch and see. Okay, now we get to see, can Steve Kerr, can he roster build?
Yeah.
Can he manage egos? Can he do that at another place? Or like you said, have a roster that is devoid of stars and then retool it to get back up again. It would be interesting to see that. But right now, his snapshot isn't big enough for me to put him into that. Certainly, he's knocking at the door. He's knocking at the door.
Yeah, I gotta give him credit because I mean, for Steph to be able to do what he does, Steve has to allow him to do that.
Right.
Yes.
And so, like, Steve was the guy that kind of made this whole 2-man pin down, guys coming, screening for off ball, getting in the corner, shooting the 3. Like, Steve was the one to get away from what the Rockets were building,
Yes.
which was the ISO ball with Harden, one-on-one. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to move the ball around, and we're going to have a guy that's playing the center position be the focal point of playmaking. And you just never seen that. And so you got to give Steve credit for starting that. Because maybe we won't see a guy like Jokic be who he is if it wasn't for a guy like Steve Kerr using Draymond the way he did early in his career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's not the best coach of all time.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Shout
don't
out,
think he
Pod.
is, but he's got to get some.
Yeah, some shine.
Yeah.
All right, we are up against it. Appreciate all the calls today. Mo's family, appreciate you guys.